How my client George lost 20 kilos without turning his life upside down. This is a massive thing that we are all primed for, an all or nothing mindset. We all want the thing right away. Has to happen tomorrow. But with this system that I work with George, we were able to, across 8 months, be able to lose 20 kilos, and he is still in a prime position to continue to lose more. This is his transformation when he started to now. Massive physical change, but the biggest thing that he's started to notice is the mental change. He is showing up better for his family, his friends, his work, everything. Yes, it comes with weight loss and we get the aesthetic benefit of looking better, but with that it unlocks a whole new possibility of confidence in areas that we really didn't actually know that we were unconfident in. You just start to walk better, present yourself better. You just didn't know this until you started to actually start to do things for yourself. This is what makes you feel more proud and capable, is not the fact of losing the weight, but having a process that enables you to do it and repeat it no matter what the circumstances are. As men and as women, we really like to have some sort of purpose. When we build that purpose out and it starts to benefit us in different ways, we stick to it. Whether we feel like it or not, there's no such thing as motivation anymore. It just happens because this is the person that we're becoming. So let's look at George's stories and the levers that we pulled together to make sure that we can continue to lose another 20 kilos from this point. Everyone thinks losing 20 kilos comes from motivation. It really doesn't. George didn't all of a sudden wake up, message me and go, fuck yeah, I'm going to lose 20 kilos. But what we did was we used 3 levers and we pulled them in the right order to make sure that we could get some sufficient change in his life. The first lever that we pulled, as boring as it sounds, is steps. He wasn't moving enough. He was roughly maybe getting 5,000 steps a day. He works a very non-movement type of job. And so we just started there. I go, George, for this week, I want you to get 5,000 steps. It wasn't food that we changed straight away. It wasn't the training. It wasn't cardio. It was just movement. It was just really averaging 5,000 or less. So I didn't tell him to go, okay, now you do 20,000 overnight. George, I want you to do 7,000. And then from there, we got the momentum of getting 7,000 consistently for 2-4 weeks. Then it became 10. Now 10 is just who he is. He just moves around to 10,000 steps. This builds confidence. I never thought I could do that. Now I can. I never thought I could just do something and then have such a small impact and big impact of the scales moving. He was bought in then by that point. The momentum was there. 10,000s became who he was. He didn't have to force himself to do it now. It just happens. Because this small win builds some confidence. That confidence builds momentum, and then your identity changes. You're the fucking man at that point. If I can just do this, well, what else am I capable of? It sounds so simple. And that's why it works, because it's simple. It's just steps. That's where we started with. So if you're looking at this and you're overweight, start with the steps, man. Just start with the steps. The studies sort of show 10,000 steps, if you can get there, is roughly about 450 calories burned a day. You don't have to run. You don't have to do fucking Zumba classes. Steps. Once improved, you can stay consistent with walking. Training became easy. We started with 3 sessions, 30 to 40 minutes, a mix of push, pull, and leg all together, full body. The same movements every week because, unfortunately, with his body weight of the size that he was, that's what we were limited to. But guess what? He started. He did the thing. He was terrified of going into the gym, worried about people looking at him. Did those 3 sessions. Same with the steps. New identity. Oh, I'm the guy who goes to the gym now. Once training became automatic, we started adding cardio. On those 3 sessions, we did 10 minutes of cardio. Just got to hop on the bike, work until the point where you are huffing and puffing and got a sweat. There's no measurement, no thinking about like getting a Whoop band and heart rate and all this sort of stuff. Fucking move. Today, he's doing 25 minutes comfortably and he's riding his bikes with his kids and mixing it up because now it's part of his lifestyle. Because this gym here, it starts to build habits. You don't build habits by just doing everything all at once. You build habits by becoming the type of person who naturally does them. This starts to break the chains that you've been holding on yourself, thinking that you need to do everything, and then you end up not doing anything. Lever 2 was keep it simple, tasty, repeatable meals. This is where most people overcomplicate everything. They want to lose weight. Ugh. What high protein pizza, Big Mac, fake away meals do I need to eat? No. Keep it simple, tasty, repeatable. They think fat loss requires hundreds of recipes. No, it doesn't. I need to eat clean. No, it doesn't. When you have too many choices, decision fatigue, poor decisions. Research in psychology, how your fucking brain works, shows something interesting. The more choices we have, the harder it becomes to make good decisions. This is known as I can't even say it. Decision fatigue. Sometimes having more freedom actually makes life harder, because now you have to decide every single meal on top of all the other decisions that you make throughout the day. What am I going to eat? What protein? What sauce? What this? You know, when you go onto Netflix and you're scrolling through Netflix and you go, fuck, I don't know what to watch. Whereas back in the day, you go to Blockbuster, there's 3 new releases out, you pick one. Choices is what's driving you to make no choices at all. So instead, we removed his decisions, simple meals, same breakfast, same lunches, protein first, meals he actually enjoyed, repeated over and over again. You earn flexibility, you do not start with it. With those less choices, less stress, better adherence, we got better results. Fat loss isn't about finding magical foods. It's about understanding calories. Not starving. He wasn't starving himself. He wasn't crashing calories. Just learning how much food his body actually needed to lose the weight. Once George understood this, everything changed. I just now give him the calories and he goes away and uses AI and builds out his own meal plans. Easy. That is an easy tool that you can use. AI does not solve all of your problems. When you have someone in the background holding you accountable to it, it can definitely be a great tool to use. I simply now, like I said, give him the calorie target and he builds the meals he generally enjoys. Because it's part of education, not dependency. Meal plans work for a little bit until they don't. You need to make sure that you're doing the plan, you're utilizing that meal plan to build an understanding of nutritional literacy, so then you can continue and build it on your own. It's like, for instance, me as a coach, I can't give you goals. I could say to George, you need to lose weight. That should be your goal. If it doesn't come from his heart of like what he believes he needs to do, the problem will never be solved. I am there to guide you through where I believe and suggest to him things that he can do, but he has to be the one that walks through it. The goal isn't to follow my meal plan forever. It's to understand nutrition well enough to build your own. This is what my other client, Dan, did as well. He had no idea what the fuck protein he was eating, calories he was eating for his goal. Once we got that set, simple, tasty, repeatable meals, away he goes. The third lever, intensity and grit. The plan, then consistency equals results. In George's case here. Most people think with grit, suck it up. In some cases it is. If you're more well trained, you know all of this stuff, and you do some in a certain point, depending on your goal, there needs to be a level of sucking it up, and which George did. But when we're starting, I disagree with this. Real grit is showing up when the excitement disappears. For everyone that trains, myself included, there's days where I don't want to go to the fucking gym. There's days where I don't want to do meal plan. There's days, but the thing is, because we've been building this system out, I've got the system in place, it just happens. Not because I'm motivated, but because it's been habitually done over the course of 90 days to change my routine. That changes my identity, and then that changes my lifestyle, because my identity is now with someone who lives this lifestyle. It just happens. In my experience, 90 days is enough. Not to become perfect, but long enough that your new routine starts to feel normal. That's when the magic happens. You start asking yourself silly questions like, do I have to eat these meals? Do I have to train today? Do I have to? It's got nothing to do with that. It's just what you do now, because you are now identifying yourself as someone that does these things, and the lifestyle for that comes along with it. We never really did massive big changes here. We didn't go, okay, you're going to eat 1,400 calories, you're going to do 20,000 steps, you're going to train 6 days a week. Small adjustments. Because if something isn't working, we don't burn the whole plan down. We make small adjustments, maybe a little bit of calories, maybe changing in steps, maybe changing training volume. What does your sleep look like? When were you doing your cardio? Was that stressing you out because you were trying to do it before work and you were rushing? In a lot of cases, the reason why you think things aren't working is because you're rushing. This highlights a certain part of your brain. I forget how to pronounce it. It's called wherever the fuck it is in your brain. And that causes a flight response in your system. Oh fuck, I need to do this. Too many choices. You have to think about like what our brain is being designed for. It's still very, very in the dark ages of what it is meant to do. Okay? Your body responds to consistency, not constant change. This is exactly something that I preach with my own training. Progress comes from staying on plan, not constantly writing a new one. If I didn't have a coach, I would be an absolute slave to my feelings. Oh, well, this didn't work this week. I'll do something else. Maybe it's this food that needs changing. Oh, you know what? That movement in my training program needs changing. That machine over there that guy's using looks better. Choice, 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 choice. No results. So this is what the plan we did. Movement, then simple, tasty, repeatable nutrition. Consistency, minus 20 kilos. New identity. He's this version of himself now. This version of himself is going to take off another 20 kilos. Because George didn't lose 20 kilos because he found a better workout or a better diet. He lost it because he stopped trying to change everything or have excuses. Look, I empathize with everyone's struggle. Life is really fucking difficult. George has kids. George has a fucking house to pay off. He has all bills. We all have fucking stress. I empathize with that struggle. Because I have those struggles as well. But what I don't empathize with is your fucking excuses. Everyone has the same 24 hours. Okay? Does this mean that you have a plan, a set plan that you have to follow? No, it's different for everyone. And this is the plan that we came up with and George got the result. He started mastering one thing at a time. The momentum became confidence. Confidence became consistency. And that consistency became his identity. And that's why 20 kilos later, he's still fucking hungry for more. He hasn't burnt out. He hasn't gone, oh, this isn't happening fast enough. He stayed consistent. We've seen the minor changes that over the long term has built into 20 kilos. If you're listening to this and you're like, fuck, something's hit home, there is a call link in the description of this video. And I'm also giving away a very special bot that I designed to help you swap out your keep it simple, tasty, repeatable meals for the occasional junk food. It's all in this little bot that it does. So just from you coming and showing up to the call, you get that. If I can't help you with anything else, at least you get something to walk away with. Thank you. Like and subscribe.